Thank you for back to the Accounting Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we're back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And looking at the wider crypto market today, Bitcoin is up 1.4%, Ethereum is up 0.4%, and it gets even better looking at the prices. If you guys remembered last week how low, how negative the sentiments were, almost every KOL has given up on crypto. Almost everyone on Twitter was telling you to prepare for the bear market. But guess what? If you watched my video where I presented my final bullish case for Bitcoin, where I said, yes, we have broken under the 50 weekly moving average for Bitcoin, but guess what? We can still remain the higher high, higher low structure. And I said for us to maintain the golden zone, it is important for us to not be anywhere near the $78,000 mark. And that's exactly what happened, ladies and gentlemen. We bounced off the $80,000 mark 1 week later. Bitcoin has reclaimed the $90,000 level. Ethereum is above $3,000. Type 1 in the chat if you were here. Guys, welcome to crypto. No one said it's going to be an easy ride, but it's going to be worth it. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in on this journey. Now, we are still in the extreme fear in the fear and greed index. You guys already know extreme fear means extreme opportunity. Okay, obviously not financial advice. Please only invest with risk capital. I want you guys to have a healthy relationship with your portfolio so you can sleep at night, so you don't need to be short-term price oriented, so you don't need to be borrowing other people's money, so you can have time play on your side. Guys, please. Okay, I am easily right with the macro trend of this bull one, but I can be wrong with the time frame. So please don't try to time the market. It is about the time in the market. Okay, we're going to cover some PulseChain news in a second, but yes, this is beautiful to see that Ethereum is above $3,000. Also looking at some charts here, I took some screenshots. This is the Bitcoin weekly price chart. You can see we might be in the middle of the bull run past the first wave where we had 126,000 Bitcoin, where now everyone thinks it is the end. This is called a bear trap, where instead we might start to climb up again, climb up the wall of worry, and then create a new all-time high. And the same people that sold are going to come back in paying a more expensive price. Okay, this is where it is very important to understand whether you are going to be an investor or you're going to have a trader mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Now we look at other charts. This is the ETH BTC ratio. You can see that it is currently at 0.033, doing really well. The chart looks really nice currently right now, forming our higher low. And now scrolling down here, you can see this is also the Bitcoin dominance chart. So these two are very important, by the way, if you care about the altcoin season. Of course, this is where my bet is. That's why I'm in PulseChain. I make videos about PulseChain. It is a very exciting chain. It's going through its first cycle, which of course the highest growth potential of any chain is in the first cycle. So this is the bet that I'm taking this cycle. It is way too early for me to make up my decision to say PulseChain is a failure. We're going to get to that in a second. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And this is what I mean by the fact that we've been in a very long bear market in recent times. We look at things like the ISM PMI, that chart that I show you guys a lot, the Purchasing Managers Index. Go do your homework. Okay, the fact how I say, we're in a cyclical nature, which I refer to the sine wave, and because it's been delayed, so now we're going to a cosine cycle. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm showing here. And the blue line here is the total 3, which effectively is another way of saying the altcoins market cap. Why is it called total 3? Because you're excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stable coins. And you can see that it has an inverse relationship with the Bitcoin dominance. So any time the Bitcoin dominance falls, which by the way, I believe that it's going to be inevitable. At some point, we're going to see this fall down under 50%, hopefully all the way down, because this is in the previous altcoin season, it fell all the way down to 40%. Okay, we can expect the total 3 to increase. So keep an eye on this. This is one of the earliest indicators for an altcoin season rally up, similar to the ETH BTC ratio, because there's a strong correlation between Ethereum and the others' total crypto market cap. So now if you scroll down here, this is the Russell 2000, which is also known as the small cap of the stock market, all the altcoins of the stock market. This one as well, it is heavily correlated with the total 3, the altcoins. Okay, now is this a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences, but yeah, you can see here that we are waiting for the Russell 2000 to break into price discovery. It has finally broke past its previous all-time high after a whole year. guys, of going sideways and a huge correction. This is obviously to do with the global liquidity index and the global M2 that also impacted Bitcoin in the past year. And yeah, you can see that we've finally broken past all-time high. It is very, very exciting times. And the fact that we're anticipating for more federal rate cuts, etc., etc. I'll catch you guys up with other macro news in another video just to keep it in scope. Now, looking at some highlighted tweets here. This is from Michael. Says, this is the best visual representation of the cycle. Let's quickly see what image that he's showing us. This is the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. And yeah, this is what he has to say. It's not the end of the bull market. It is the end of the bear market for altcoins. Guys, now you're telling me what I want to hear now. Okay, I keep saying that the most current opportunities are massive financial opportunities that will only be granted one time in your lifetime. That's now. The business cycle has always been the prime indicator for markets to go risk on, risk off. And in this case, the periods have been changing over time. As you can see in the visual, the low is created on altcoins when the business cycle is least favorable. In previous cycles, Q2 of 2012, Q1/2 of 2016, and Q1 of 2020. This resulted into massive bloodbaths on the altcoin markets, extensive losses, and also a Bitcoin that's still moving beneath the all-time high. That wouldn't be different this time, except that the ETF has changed the entire market dynamics. It provided a new floor of Bitcoin to be acting on, which is north of the previous all-time high, most of the time actually at 100k plus. That's great, but that also confuses the entire market. That also means that we haven't seen the actual run upwards for Bitcoin as of yet, which means that we're still going to be seeing such a case. It would also be a good case that if this bear market is as extensive as it has been, it's very likely that the upcoming bull market will be significantly larger. More money required to move markets, also more time to be adjusting the business cycle, etc. Guys, honestly, this is why when I look at the altcoins, okay, the fact that we are going lower and lower, potentially creating new all-time lows, I think of it as the final pullback for that slingshot effect. Okay, remember, the rocket ship takes off from the ground. Okay, with the Wall Street saying that says, the wider the base, the higher the space. So yeah, here he says, in this case, I do believe that we're in a way longer cycle and that the classic Web3 only 4-year cycle doesn't exist. It's a tremendously different cycle and the opportunities are everywhere. Everybody is just too stubborn to be going for it. I can't make these visuals as beautiful as they are, so credits to XYZ person. Now moving on to the person who made this graphic, a tweet from TechDev says, many think the cycle has topped. Some think months ago. What if we're barely halfway with the parabolic phase yet to begin? The cycle's uniquely glacial pace is confounding many. Time can shake as many loose as volatility, if not more. Well said. Anyway, before we move forward, guys, let's look at the highlighted comments here. I just want to say a big shout out to the YouTube members who are choosing to support my small channel. Thank you very much. I will continue making these videos. It's been such a pleasure sharing the knowledge with you guys. Moving on to the highlighted comments, starting with David. Says, I'm not selling. Very bullish news for the future. Junk prices today. I'm holding. Keep those videos coming. Thank you very much, Khaled. Well, thank you, sir, for watching. And to another comment from Fred says, don't stop believing. Thank you for that comment. And finally, but not least, a comment from James says, I'm refusing to believe that the cycle has ended, but I'm 90% in and ignorant at this point. If you believe in the 4-year cycle, then the cycle is over, which means we never got a full-blown altcoin season. I'm going to give it another 12 months before I admit defeat and get a job in McDonald's. And you know what? That's actually a really great mindset. Why? Because I've been telling people that it is way too early for us to make our evaluation to say that PulseChain is officially a failure, because I've been saying this for a long time. Yes, PulseChain has launched for over 2 years and the chart hasn't really done much since, right? But remember that it has launched in the middle of the bear market. Nothing really can be expected. Bitcoin dominance has never fallen under 55%. Ethereum is not even over $5,000, which is from last cycle's all-time high. So unless those conditions are met, such as the Bitcoin dominance, the Ethereum price, ETH-BTC ratio, the others total crypto market cap, until then, I am not going to be admitting defeat. I am telling you guys, the wait will be worth it. I am a believer. I have to believe in something. You have to be part of a cult to make it in crypto, guys. And you can't spell culture without cults. Okay, and here in Pulsechain, we have one of the strongest calls in all crypto. We survived the whole bear market with being minus 99%. This is the right place to be. Let me tell you that. If there shall be an altcoin, you just know that Pulsechain will win the hardest. Okay, and only time will tell at this point, guys. I'm so excited. We have the right smart-minded people. We have technology being built such as PulseX. We have great developers. We have great content creators who are making videos passionately, not being paid to talk about what they like. Welcome to Pulsechain, guys, where one of our greatest assets is truly the community. People like you who are watching this video. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And yeah, leave a comment down below. Share this video with the crypto bros. Give it a like. Subscribe if you are new. Now, moving on to another tweet. This is from myself here talking about the Russell 2000 that I showed you guys in a second. The small cap index of the stock market is heavily correlated with altcoins. After a big correction that lasted a year, we're about to break into price discovery. This is super bullish for risk on assets such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and PulseChain the most. Now, showing another tweet here from our friend Somi. Big shout out to him. Again, talk about the racist Russell 2000. Says has performed a miracle by jumping above its 2021 all-time high prices. Racist Russell 2000 is a precursor to ISM, so the PMI, rising business cycle confidence, risk-taking, Ethereum and altcoins rising. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. This is going to be a great indicator. So keep tabs on that. Now moving on to another tweet here that I made showing the social interest in crypto and Bitcoin. And here I said, here's why Bitcoin never reached euphoria yet. Okay, and I'm just telling you guys, this is what you subscribed here for. I show you guys this data-driven information. So again, thank you very much for watching, guys. I spend sleepless nights and I'm sharing with you guys because I want you guys to be part of this journey with me. It is going to be worth it. It will be worth it, guys. We're just about to enter the expanding phase of the business cycle, guys. Keep an eye on the global macroeconomics. It is really exciting. When you really think about it, it is really, really exciting. We are in the history in the making. Imagine what kind of a hell of a story to tell 5 years from now. You can make life-changing money in the next 300 days, guys. Life-changing money. You can kickstart your own business. You can get yourself into real estate. You can turn that into a passive income funnel in crypto. There's a lot of different ways, guys. And I'm going to be making videos on that. There's tons of ways of providing liquidity, even within Pulsechain, by the way. Anyways, continuing on, here I said, social interest chart. Last 2 cycles, Bitcoin topped when the social interest also topped at 0.8 plus index, similar to the ISM PMI. We barely got past 0.4 back in late 2024, right? When it was at its peak. Look, you can see that in the picture right here, right? Barely over 0.4. And then here I say, and less than 0.1 when Bitcoin created its all-time high of $126,000 a couple months ago, which is crazy. We were at 0.1, guys, social interest when we broke all-time high. Can you just imagine what will the all-time high be when social interest is actually above 0.8? When retail FOMO actually is happening, when we're on risk on, guys, risk appetite. Are you ready for a 7 to 9K Ethereum by the end of January? Okay. That's my prediction. There you go. There you have it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. From another tweet here from Ash Crypto says, Bitcoin euphoria hasn't even happened yet. There could be one more leg up left. So again, that kind of goes back to the same theory that I have with the fact that we have gone through the first wave. You can see here. But of course, I am betting on the fact that the second wave will be way, way higher than the first one. Okay. And then moving on here, just a clip. I'm not really going to play it from, this is from OpenAI. Sam Altman says, I'm excited about Bitcoin too. This idea that we have a global currency that is outside the control of any government is a super logical and important step, which is kind of funny of him to say because, guys, right now the AI is effectively the only thing that's keeping US keeping the whole world from entering into a recession. Okay, if you've been keeping up with the news, you already know. Okay, you have Nvidia saying, "Oh, guys, we're not Enron." Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's kind of scary, like with the whole bubble. But I think we're very, very far away from even expecting a bubble popping. Because, of course, when you think about bubble popping, effectively, it's the Federal Reserve that ends up actually popping the bubble by lowering the interest rates. But we're just about to enter the end of quantitative tightening, and then it will probably take some other maybe a month or a couple months, whatever it is, to enter quantitative easing. So we can expect way I'm saying perhaps even 1 to 2 years for us to expect the interest rates, the federal interest rate, for them to rise it up again, and then potentially pop the bubble of AI. We shall see. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah. Moving on to some other PulseChain news. Now, this is to do with the Etch-a-Sketch. The tablets are being kind of like airdropped, sent out to people from PulseChain that has, the PulseChain kind of Etch-a-Sketch. Now, they have changed the text message that's on the package. So yeah, this is the new message now that people receive. It says, "Enjoy your free gift. A smaller, similar version of this device costs $15 at Staples. It was donated by someone who really likes cryptocurrency and wants you to learn about it. Most get-rich-quick talk is empty promises. It's worth paying attention to when something real actually happens. Hex turned $1 into $10,000 in a year and a half." He's talking about, obviously, in the previous cycle. With EHEX, that's what we call today. You might be able to turn $1 into $10,000 too. Hold on. Is he saying a 10,000x is going to happen again? It happened before. The price went way up, then came back down. Some sold high and got rich. And by the way, I have met some of those hexicans that became millionaires, that are still millionaires today. I've met them in real life. They're real, guys. Richard Hart have changed people's lives, and he wants to do that again. Are you going to be one of them? Do you believe hard enough? Others bought high and lost. It is what it is. There's going to be winners and losers, unfortunately. Okay, you just have to be a disciplined investor. Now, you have new opportunities with PulseChain.com, PulseX.com, and Hex.com. There aren't many coins that have gone up a 10,000x in price and operated flawlessly for 6 years. Start here, and then there's 2 QR codes. Very, very exciting, guys. I dig this. This is a really great message. Definitely shows a little bit of, instills a little bit of FOMO. It's like, whoa, can I turn $1 into $10,000? So effectively, all you're telling the people who are reading this, what is it going to cost you? Just put $1 in PulseX, $1 in Pulse, and that's it. Forget about it. In Hex as well, forget about it. But now, of course, once they actually go, past that high barrier for entry, they're probably going to take it more seriously and be like, you know what? Let me put 100. Let me put this amount. Let me start DCAing. Because once you unlock the power of DCAing, guys, oof, all of a sudden, guys, you have positions. Okay, you're stacking units. That's all you should care about. You're stacking units because today's price is not equal to tomorrow's value. Okay. Moving on to Grand Inquisitor says, "There's so much weight on Richard Hart's shoulders, expectations are sky high." It's funny because Pulse can't even break even, and it hits new all-time lows instead. Literally anything below 100x for Pulse would forever ruin this man's reputation, and even that would be considered a weak success. And he shows here a caption of Richard Hart replying to this person saying, "7x, lol, a pump for ads." Here's a tweet from PulseChainStats.com. Big shout out to them. By the way, it says, "Maybe I'm delusional, but the band-aid paired with Richard Hart subtly poking at the community seems intentional. Like he's teasing us and flushing out whoever isn't built for the long game. We know there's a lot being built behind the scenes. Could it be all part of the plan?" And then here he captions a tweet from 2021 where Richard says, "First, I shake out the weak hands with a few spicy tweets, then I post the valuable stuff. No love for weak hands." Guys, and this tweet is referred to a lot of the times where people are saying, hey, if he's talking negatively about the PRC 20s, he's being disingenuous. Now, take that as you will. Let me know what your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's keep the discussion civil, please. Okay, we don't need to call people, oh yeah, you're too stupid, or oh, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, who knows? Who knows, right? Because really, when you think about it, what actually makes PulseChain different than the other Ethereum layer 1 forks? It is literally the PRC20. That's been part of the marketing for such a long time. Okay, you have PWBTC. It used to be active on PulseX. Okay, he knows about ERC, PRC pairing, right? You do that, the prices are more likely to get closer and closer to each other, reach parity. Okay, that's why PWBT is one of my favorite narratives, by the way. Moving on to the other tweet here from PDAI Maxi, Naira and Capital, says, while many argue that PDAI will never trade at $1, all parts required for it to do has been tested on PulseChain. Sunny found one, Maria burnt one, Viet Dong used one, Catty exposed one, Richard Hart invented one. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it won't work. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then finally, we're going to cover this tweet here from Jenkins. Says, the PulseX sacrifice isn't for the people in the PulseChain ecosystem. Very interesting. Okay, and I'm going to speak more about PulseX in a separate video, but let's just end with this tweet. And then he continues to say, the chart looks the way they do because we've had an ecosystem stagnant in growth that's been recirculating the same economic energy that came in 2020 to 2021. Without mass adoption, the vision will never come to fruition. The tech is critical. The foundation has been laid. This isn't an ecosystem meant for traders. The odds favor those who have the longest time horizons and are here to stay. Well, you're looking at one right now. Okay, the people that have stuck around and are finally tapping out in 2025 into 2026 maybe needed to go. Ripping the band-aid off might be the push they needed to finally jump off the cliff. Think about how many eyes we've had waiting for each and every pump just to exit. Those are likely the ones who are the most vocal in disappointment on the internet. Allow them to flip bearish at these prices. We will rebuild. We will reshape the paradigm in this community. This ecosystem will grow and flourish. It doesn't need to happen overnight, and it's probably best for all of us it doesn't happen overnight. Focus is the key. Just my 2 pennies. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking about PulseX today, it has gathered 5 million in the sacrifice. I'll let you guys know my opinions on that in my next video. But guys, thank you very much for watching. This has been your latest update about crypto with everything that you need to know. And of course, PulseChain, my favorite place to be to make the most out of this upcoming altcoin season, which it used to happen once out of every 4 years. Now apparently it's going to be happening once every 5 years. And with that, I'm going to say a big shout out to the man above. Trust in the process, trust in God, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.